There's a storm across the valley. The clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulders. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. The whining of his wheels just makes it colder.
Welcome to Community Forum. My name is Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, your host. Today is January 19th, 2023. And it gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome our Maestro, Michael Korn, to the program today. And he has some wonderful news to tell us about a very romantic concert 2 days before Valentine's Day for all of you to bring the loves of your life to, and that includes your children. So Michael, welcome. Tell me about this wonderful concert.
Thank you. It's great to be here again. Thank you for inviting me, Priscilla. We will talk today about the concert with Sharon Community Chamber Orchestra on February 12th. Right before the Valentine's Day, and we are playing a late afternoon of light classical music, Strauss, and maybe a little bit more that comes along very nicely with it.
Well, it sounds wonderful. Are people going to be waltzing in the aisles?
I hope so. Some of the music that we are going to play is the very, very famous, beautiful Blue Danube Waltz.
I know that one.
You suppose just get up and dance. My understanding, there will be some space in between the orchestra and the people who would like to stay seated, and whoever likes to jump up and waltz around a little bit.
Well, I remember the Blue Danube as a early piano piece that my piano teacher insisted I play. Yeah. So where is this wonderful concert going to be held?
Victory Church in Sharon. It is located on High Plain Street.
High Plain?
High Plain, yes. Near Walmart there.
Okay, well, we're going to post that. We'll post that information at the end of this program.
Yeah.
So everybody can get it. And what time?
At 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Great.
4 p.m. And it's probably, I would say at most from 4 to 5:30 affair.
So it would be an hour and a half.
Long performance. Yeah.
On a Sunday evening. Sounds wonderful. And a prelude to that famous Valentine's Day when we all want to remember the people we love. So, and the name of the chamber orchestra is the Sharon Community Chamber Orchestra, and you are the conductor. Are you going to also be one of the players?
Probably not. I will just play my baton. But we will have a wonderful young soloist. Here's a Sharon High student. His name is Ahman Ayad, a wonderful young violinist who will play a very, very flashy, super virtuoso violin piece by Saint-Saëns, Introduction and Rondo Capriccioso.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how old is he?
He must be 15, 16 years old.
Oh my goodness.
I would imagine. I know he's not a senior.
Wow. So he's got a very bright and exciting future.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know. Is he going to measure up to you? Oh, God, your fingers fly over that.
Well, thank you.
But, and they're just wonderful.
But it is time for me to step back a little bit.
Is it? Oh, but you can't, you have to keep practicing. You can't lose your wonderful talent to time.
Thank you. But I practice my conducting, Priscilla. I do this diligently.
You do, and you're conduct the Waltham Philharmonic Orchestra.
Right.
So how many are in that group?
How many people in
Yes.
Waltham Philharmonic?
Must be quite a group.
Waltham Phil is what is sometimes called full symphony orchestra, so there are probably 55, 60 people
Wow.
in that orchestra. Sharon Orchestra is a chamber orchestra.
Right.
So these orchestras usually are smaller.
Yes, and how many are in the chamber orchestra?
How many are in a chamber? You got me off guard.
Oh, are there 10 to
but
12?
I would say maybe like 25, 30.
Oh, wow, that's a big group.
Right.
And so, so you have the full gamut of instruments.
Right.
The string
but
section,
strings
wind.
and flutes, oboes, clarinets, bassoons,
French horn?
French horns, trumpets,
Bass?
The string bass,
Yeah.
you mean? Absolutely, string bass. And in fact, in this concert, we play music that calls for bigger orchestra, so will be few extra musicians who will come and they will play trombones and
Really?
yes, and some
Oh, you also have
timpani
guest.
and bass drum.
Oh my goodness. It's
And
gonna
even an anvil.
no.
Yes, absolutely. It will be,
Ding dong.
yes.
It's going to be really flashy
It will be very fun.
and
yes.
very romantic.
Very fun. Yes. I'm not sure how romantic this anvil piece exactly is, but I don't want to give away
No.
too many secrets.
Right, and good surprises are important.
There are going to be many surprises, Priscilla, in this concert, because that's how Strausses wrote their music. So usually they would write. Well, I say they because it's the family, and it started with the father, Strauss the elder, Johann, and then the dynasty continued with his sons and beyond, and they all wrote this waltz music and dance music. They were all very well known as dance composers, and they would write dances often for a special occasion, like an opening of a train station somewhere in the area, and here we go, there's a polka. And as you can very well imagine, it is going to be polka with a nice train whistle and some train, accessoires, and the anvil polka. So obviously there is a lot of
I didn't realize
banging.
that they wrote polkas as well as waltzes.
They wrote dance music. They're very well. Johann Strauss the Elder is known as the composer of Radetzky March. This is probably one of the most famous pieces that he wrote, and he wrote marches and waltzes and polkas and quadrilles and what have you. And then his son, he had 3 sons. So his oldest son, also Johann Strauss, the younger or junior, was known as a waltz king and wrote music that everybody, just absolutely everyone knows.
So
Danube.
So Johann the Younger is really the waltz composer with whom most of us are familiar.
That's right. I think the most music we know when we hear those Viennese waltzes is written by Johann Strauss the Younger.
So from an historical perspective, they resided in Vienna, and so they were obviously paid as by the court, the king and the queen, right?
I think they wrote a lot of music that was commissioned by famous.
Commissioned, that's the word I was looking for, yes.
People. Yes, and well, it's pretty much the three of, so we'll play music by three of the Strausses: the father, the son, Johann, and also Joseph.
Who?
Joseph Strauss.
Oh, Joseph, right.
Yes.
And he was a brother.
He, well, he was.
Was he Johann the youngest brother?
He was Johann's the youngest brother. Thank you for helping me there with the the whole name thing.
I understand from you that Richard Strauss is no relation.
No, Richard is no relation. However, they knew each other, and I think especially with Joseph. Joseph was younger, just a couple of years younger, sibling of Johann. Also was a very talented composer, but not as famous as Johann.
What was that due to? Was he just a better promoter of his own?
Well, actually, Johann Strauss said it, I think, in a funny way. He said, Joseph is the most talented of us, but I am the most popular. And I think that the reason that Joseph did not become as popular as Johann, his personality was kind of shy, and he was not in great health in general. It was probably held him back.
Johann the Younger, he was the firstborn, and you know how driven firstborns are.
Well, that's true too, and it is known that Johann's son and Johann's father, they were rivals.
Really?
Yes, they were rivals, and not necessarily on a very, civil, in a very civil way. The father did not want his children to become musicians.
What?
I think it all started from the get-go. He did not want I guess he did not want the competition. Joseph actually became an engineer, and only then came to music, and he was a very talented composer. Richard Strauss was very fond of Joseph, and another heavyweight, Johann Brahms, was also very fond of Joseph.
So they all were contemporaries.
That's right.
My goodness, I never knew that.
Second half of the 19th century. Yes, and that's true. They all knew each other.
Yeah, interesting.
Good company. I wouldn't mind to be a fly on the wall there.
No. Well, it's interesting that you said that they were competitive, father and son, but it's not so unusual, because the firstborn really has only his or her parent to model after, whereas the second and thirdborns, they have their sibling that came before them. So the hurdle is really much bigger with the firstborn, and that's why they're so bossy and have to be in charge, and really they don't delegate because they can do the job much better than anyone else. Now, I'm a firstborn. I learned that early. But I also learned that one cannot take that into account with personal relationships. Can't be bossy, you have to be cordial and sweet and, cooperative.
I imagine so. I'm a firstborn, but I never had to deal with anything like that.
Why, are you an only born?
No, I have a younger siblings, but...
But that's why you've been so successful. Now I know. The truth has come out, Michael.
And my father is a violinist, so I guess...
Your father was a violinist?
Yes.
Too?
Yes,
oh, God.
Yes.
So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So that's what Johann Strauss and you have in common. Johann Strauss the Younger.
Yes, let's agree on that, and let's not go any further, because Johann Strauss has a lot of things that
Oh, that you're not fond of.
no.
Okay.
No.
Well, we're not going to attribute
that. We probably
that.
shouldn't.
Okay. But let's talk more about Sunday, February 12th, and the concert by the Sharon Community Chamber Orchestra. First of all, I had no idea that it's a full orchestra of 25, 30 people, all those wonderful instruments coming together, converging to produce these wonderful waltzes and other music that lends itself to Valentine's Day. So tell us, what are some of the, do you remember some of the pieces that you will be playing?
Yes, absolutely. We will actually, I will give you a little secret. Mm-hmm. We are modeling this concert a little bit after how would Vienna Philharmonic program their New Year concerts.
Really?
Yes, which is a huge event in Europe, sold out for years and years ahead, as I understand, and the sort of the way these concerts usually go, it always starts with a famous overture, which we will do as well. We'll play a very famous overture by Rossini from Barber of Seville.
Oh, how wonderful. Right.
So everybody, I'm sure
everybody knows that
tune. And then we will go to one of the famous Johann Strauss, the Younger waltzes, Artist's Life. Ram pam pam, ram pam pam, ram pam pam. So again, I am pretty sure that everything we play in this concert is familiar to the listener. So I probably shouldn't really sing every single piece. And then we'll play some polkas, and we will finish the first half with someone that I would call an American Strauss, Leroy Anderson.
Who?
Leroy Anderson.
Oh.
Master of light classical music here. The famous sleigh ride. So we'll be on the program, and then with the second half of the program, we'll have a soloist, and we'll go through some other beautiful polkas and waltzes, and we will finish with Radetzky March, with a lot of clapping and dancing as well. Yes.
Oh, what a program! My goodness, it's going to. That music is going to bring so many smiles to so many faces, and also nobody is going to fall asleep at this one.
No. It's
Nobody's
not
dozing
a
off.
program at all, and I think you're absolutely right. It's a very, very smiley concert, and sometimes, we would play music. Always, everybody says if it's Mozart, well, we have to mention how young the poor guy was when he passed away, and I think people, for a good reason or not, often anticipate that in this sort of heavyweight classical music, there got to be just a little bit of tragedy somewhere,
Yeah.
But no. There's absolutely no sadness in this concert of any kind. It's all about smiles. It's all about, if you like to get up and dance.
So it's a wonderful,
you should do that.
Wonderful prelude to Valentine's Day.
Absolutely.
And that's the idea, folks.
Yes.
So please put that on your calendar. Sunday, February 12th at 4 p.m. at the Victory Church in Sharon, and we're going to post the information. And what's the website for the Sharon Community Chamber Orchestra?
I think it is scco.org.
S.
CCO, Sharon Community Chamber Orchestra.
Okay.
.org.
Okay. scco.org.
Mhm.
That's easy to remember. SCCC. Oh no, SCCO. Community. Sharon Community Chamber Orchestra.org. So look that up, and I will be looking forward to that concert. So Michael and I will see you there with bells on and maybe chocolates.
Please come. We do have the bells, little bells. Bring your keys, car keys.
Oh, okay, the car keys.
Mhm.
So you can participate. We can all be part of a chorus. Clingers. Okay, well,
That's
thank
right.
you, Michael, so much for coming and sharing that wonderful opportunity, musical
you.
opportunity.
Thank you so much, Priscilla, for having me.
So you're very welcome. And thank you, viewers, for watching this program and enjoying it. And hopefully you'll be there at Victory Church in Sharon on February 12th at 4 p.m. to delight in this wonderful concert, fun concert, happy concert. Bring your kids because they won't doze off either. They're going to love it. It'll bring many smiles to you and your family. Again, thank you for watching. Priscilla Almquist-Olsen. Until next time, be well.